There are 5 ways trauma bonding keeps you stuck in a relationship that's destroying you. And if you're seeing even 3 of them, you're not staying because you love them. You're staying because your nervous system has been hijacked. And here's what nobody tells you about trauma bonding. It's not weakness. It's not stupidity. It's not, why don't you just leave? It's vincolo traumatico, what Machiavelli documented 500 years ago as the strategic alternation between pain and relief that creates psychological dependency. It's not love, it's addiction. Your brain has been conditioned to crave someone who hurts you because they're also the one who occasionally relieves that hurt. The harsh reality is, trauma bonding is designed to keep you stuck, and understanding why it works is the first step to breaking free. In the next 12 minutes, I'm going to show you the 5 ways trauma bonding traps you, how each one operates, and at the end, the one path out that actually works. Because Machiavelli understood, some chains are invisible, but once you see them, you can break them. Let's start with way 1, and this one's the foundation. Way number 1, the intermittent reinforcement cycle. They hurt you, then love you. Hurt you, then love you. And that alternation? That's what creates the bond. Here's exactly how this works. They're cruel, dismissive, maybe verbally abusive. You feel terrible, hurt, confused. You're thinking about leaving. Then they flip. Suddenly they're sweet, apologetic, loving. I'm sorry. I didn't mean it. You're so important to me. I don't know what I'd do without you. And you feel relief, massive relief. The pain stops. And in that moment of relief, you bond harder. That's intermittent reinforcement. And it's the most powerful conditioning mechanism in psychology. Machiavelli called this intermittenza strategica, strategic intermittence. He documented how political leaders would alternate between punishment and reward to create loyalty. Because consistent kindness doesn't create dependency, alternation does. Here's why this is so effective. Your brain releases massive dopamine during the relief phase. After pain, relief feels like euphoria, and your brain starts associating this person with that euphoria hit. Even though they caused the pain in the first place, it's the same mechanism as gambling addiction. You lose, 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 then you win. And that win after losses feels bigger than it actually is. So you keep playing. The uncomfortable truth is, if they were consistently terrible, you'd leave. If they were consistently kind, you wouldn't be trauma bonded. It's the alternation that traps you. Let's be honest about what's happening in your nervous system. After they hurt you, you're in stress response, cortisol high, anxiety spiking. Then they're kind, and you flood with oxytocin and dopamine. That chemical roller coaster? That's addiction forming. Real talk. I watched someone stay in a toxic relationship for 3 years because of this exact cycle. The person would be emotionally abusive for days, then have one amazing weekend together. And that one good weekend would make them forget 3 days of abuse. That's intermittent reinforcement. One high after multiple lows feels more intense than consistent good treatment, and your brain chases that intensity. Machiavelli understood. Intermittenza strategica creates stronger bonds than consistency, because the unpredictability keeps you hoping. And hope in a toxic relationship, that's the chain that binds you. That's way 1. The alternation between pain and relief that conditions addiction. Way number 2. You confuse intensity with intimacy. The highs are so high, the lows are so low, and you mistake that emotional chaos for deep connection. Here's what this looks like in trauma bonding. The relationship is dramatic. Constant conflict followed by passionate reconciliation. Jealousy. Obsession. I can't live without you. Declarations. Big emotional gestures. And you think, this is real love. It's intense. It's passionate. It's like nothing I've ever felt before. But that's not intimacy. That's intensità ingannevole, what Machiavelli described as deceptive intensity. Drama masquerading as depth. Real intimacy is calm, stable, safe. It's being able to be vulnerable without fear. It's trust. It's consistency. It's boring compared to trauma bonding intensity. And that's the trap. After experiencing trauma bond intensity, healthy relationships feel flat. Not because they're less loving, because they're less chaotic. And your nervous system has been conditioned to equate chaos with connection. Let me be real about this. I thought healthy relationships were boring because I was addicted to trauma bond intensity. Someone treated me consistently well, and I felt nothing. Someone treated me terribly with moments of intensity, and I felt chemistry. That wasn't chemistry. That was my nervous system responding to familiar chaos. I'd been conditioned to associate intensity with love. Here's the harsh reality. Intensity is not intimacy. Chaos is not connection. Drama is not depth. And if your relationship feels like an emotional roller coaster, that's not passion. That's dysfunction. Machiavelli observed this in political alliances. Leaders would create artificial crises, then heroically resolve them. The intensity of crisis and resolution created perceived loyalty, but it was manufactured, just like trauma bond intensity. True intimacy doesn't require drama. It doesn't need constant conflict and reconciliation to feel real. It's present, consistent, and safe. But when you're trauma bonded, safe feels wrong, because you've been conditioned to associate intensity with connection. And breaking that conditioning? That's part of the way out. That's way two. Confusing intensity with intimacy keeps you chasing chaos instead of seeking safety. Way number 3, the sunk cost fallacy. You've invested so much time, energy, emotion, and hope into this relationship that walking away feels like losing everything. Here's how this trap operates. You've been together for months, years. You've tried to make it work. You've forgiven them repeatedly. You've made sacrifices, changed yourself, accommodated their dysfunction. And now, when you think about leaving, you think, but I've put so much into this. If I leave now, it's all wasted. All that effort, all that pain, all for nothing. So you stay. Because leaving means admitting that all that investment was pointless. That's the sunk cost fallacy. And Machiavelli called it investimento vincolante, binding investment. The more you invest in something harmful, the harder it becomes to walk away. Not because staying is good, but because leaving requires acknowledging the investment was misplaced. The uncomfortable truth is, the time you've already spent is gone. Whether you stay or leave, that time is spent. The only question is, do you want to spend more time in something that's destroying you? But trauma bonding makes that rational thinking impossible, because you're not just walking away from the relationship. You're walking away from the hope that all that suffering will eventually mean something. Real talk. Someone I know stayed in a toxic relationship for 5 years because they'd already stayed for 4. I've invested 4 years. I can't leave now. Maybe year 5 is when it gets better. It didn't get better. Year 5 was worse. But the sunk cost fallacy kept them feeding more time, energy, and self into something that was never going to change. Machiavelli understood this in political strategy. Once people have invested significantly in a losing strategy, they'll invest more rather than admit the loss. It's not rational, it's psychological. And in trauma bonding, this is amplified. Because you're not just invested, you're emotionally dependent. Your identity has become wrapped up in making this work. Let's be honest, you're not staying because the relationship is good. You're staying because you can't face that all that suffering was for nothing. That sunk cost, and it's keeping you stuck. The truth Machiavelli knew: cutting your losses is strength, not failure. The willingness to walk away from bad investment, even significant investment, is what separates strategic thinkers from people trapped by their past decisions. That's way 3. The sunk cost fallacy makes leaving feel impossible. Way number 4. Your identity has become wrapped up in saving them. You're not just their partner, you're their savior. And leaving would mean abandoning someone who needs you. Here's what this pattern looks like. They're struggling. Trauma, mental health issues, addiction, family problems. And you've positioned yourself as the one person who understands them, the only one who can help them. They reinforce this. You're the only person who gets me. Without you, don't know what I'd do. You're saving my life. And you absorb that identity. You become the savior, the one who stays, the one who understands. And that identity, that's who you are now. So leaving isn't just ending a relationship. It's abandoning your identity. It's becoming the person who gave up on someone who needed you. Machiavelli documented this as dipendenza dal salvatore, dependency on the savior role, not their dependency on you, your dependency on being needed by them. Because here's the harsh reality. You're getting something from being their savior, a sense of purpose, of importance, of being uniquely valuable. And walking away means losing that. The uncomfortable truth is, you can't save someone who doesn't want to save themselves. And staying in a relationship because they need you isn't love. It's codependency masquerading as compassion. Pause here. Go to the comments. Write one sentence. Which of these 4 ways resonates most? Just way 1 or way 3, or whichever one hit hardest. This helps you see your pattern, and it helps others realize they're not alone in this. Let me be real about this. I stayed in a toxic dynamic for years because I'd made being the understanding one my entire identity. I was the person who could handle their complexity, who didn't give up, who understood the pain behind their behavior. And leaving would mean admitting, I can't save them. I'm not uniquely capable of fixing this. I'm just a person in a harmful relationship. And that identity loss felt worse than the relationship harm. That's how the savior complex keeps you stuck. You're not staying for them. You're staying for who you get to be in relation to them. Machiavelli's observation: people who need to be needed will accept terrible treatment to maintain that role. Because losing the role feels like losing themselves. That's way 4. Your savior identity keeps you trapped. Way number 5. You're addicted to the hope that they'll change. Not to who they are, to who they could be if they just worked on themselves. Here's how this operates. They show glimpses, moments where you see who they could be. They're vulnerable, self-aware, promising to change, going to therapy, reading self-help books, making temporary improvements. And you think, see, they can change. They are changing. If I just stay a little longer, This is who they'll become. So you stay, not for who they are today, but for who they might be tomorrow. That's speranza cum catena, what Machiavelli described as hope as chain. The most powerful restraint isn't physical, it's the hope that things will be different. And trauma bonding exploits this perfectly. Because they do change, temporarily, just enough to renew your hope, just enough to keep you from leaving. Then they revert, and the cycle continues. The harsh reality is, you're not in a relationship with a real person. You're in a relationship with potential, with the idealized version you've constructed in your mind, and you're sacrificing yourself to that fantasy. Let's be honest, if you removed all hope of future change, would you stay with who they are today? Right now, as they actually are, not as they promise to be, as they actually show up. Most people in trauma bonds would say no, because they're not staying for the reality, they're staying for the possibility. Machiavelli understood this in political manipulation. Keep people hoping for future change, and they'll tolerate present harm indefinitely. Because hope deferred is more powerful than hope fulfilled. Hope fulfilled ends. Hope deferred continues forever. Real talk. Hope is not a strategy. And change that only happens when you're about to leave isn't real change. It's manipulation to keep you hoping. You deserve a relationship with who someone actually is, not who they might become if you sacrifice enough of yourself. That's way 5. Addiction to hope keeps you investing in potential while ignoring reality. Now let me show you the way out. So those are the 5 ways trauma bonding keeps you stuck. Intermittent reinforcement. Intensity confused with intimacy. Sunk cost fallacy. Savior identity. Hope addiction. And here's the one way out that actually works. Liberazione progressiva. Progressive liberation. Not one dramatic exit. Gradual separation from the bond. Because here's what most advice gets wrong. They tell you to just leave. Cut contact. Block them. Move on. And if you're trauma bonded, that's almost impossible. Because your nervous system is dependent. Withdrawal is real, physical, painful. So instead of forcing immediate exit, Machiavelli's approach. Progressive separation. Not dramatic, gradual. Step 1. Name the bond. Out loud. I'm trauma bonded. This isn't love. This is addiction. Say it until you believe it. Step 2. Create physical distance. Not forever. Just start. Fewer texts, fewer visits, more space. Let your nervous system start adjusting to their absence in small doses. Step 3. Build alternative sources of regulation. Your nervous system is dysregulated. You've been using them to regulate. Find other sources. Therapy, friends, exercise, anything that helps you feel stable without them. Step 4. Document reality. Write down what actually happens. Not your interpretation, just facts. This counters the fantasy and hope addiction. Reality documentation breaks the illusion. Step 5. Set a timeline. Not someday I'll leave. A specific date. 3 months, 6 months, a year if needed. But concrete. By date, I will be out of this relationship. That's liberazione progressiva. Not one dramatic leap. Gradual, strategic separation that allows your nervous system to detach while you build resources for exit. The uncomfortable truth is, you might not be ready to leave today, and that's okay. But you can be ready to start the process of becoming ready to leave. Machiavelli understood. Some prisons require careful escape, planning. Rushing the exit fails. Strategic preparation succeeds. That's the way out. Progressive liberation. Not immediate, but intentional. And every small step away from the bond is progress, even if you're not fully free yet. Here's what trauma bonding is. Vincolo traumatico, an addiction created through intermittent reinforcement, intensity confusion, sunk cost, savior identity, and hope addiction. And here's the way out. Liberazione progressiva, progressive liberation, not one dramatic exit, strategic, gradual separation. So here's what you do. Today, right now. Start with step 1. Name it. Say out loud or write down. I'm trauma bonded. This is addiction, not love. That's it. That's step 1. Don't worry about the exit yet. Just name what this actually is. Because trauma bonds survive in silence, in confusion, in calling it complicated love instead of what it actually is. The moment you name it accurately, the bond starts weakening. Not immediately, but it starts. Machiavelli knew. Chains you can see are chains you can eventually break. Invisible chains are permanent. Make yours visible. Name the trauma bond today. And when you're ready, come back to steps 2 through 5. Build progressive liberation. One step at a time. You're not weak for being trauma bonded. You're human. Your nervous system was hijacked. That's not your fault. But getting out? That's your responsibility. And it starts with naming what this actually is. Apply it. And take the first step toward liberazione progressiva.